all think we'd survive a zombie apocalypse just because we've watched a few movies. Spoiler alert, you wouldn't.
Hollywood has filled your brain with survival hacks that are actually suicide instructions. Following movie logic in the wild is the fastest way to turn yourself into a missing persons report. Today, we are debunking 30 survival myths that will get you killed instantly. Here is a challenge. I bet you believe at least 5 of these. Count how many times you were wrong and write your score in the comments. Are you a survival expert or a future casualty? Let's find out. Myth 1. The crystal clear stream. We have been conditioned by bottled water commercials to believe that clear water equals pure water. You see a bubbling mountain stream, and your instinct is to cup your hands and drink like a Disney princess. Do not do this. Just because water looks clean doesn't mean a deer didn't die and rot in it 50 yards upstream. Clear water can be teeming with giardia and cryptosporidium, microscopic parasites that will turn your intestines into a slip and slide within hours. In a survival situation, explosive diarrhea isn't just an embarrassing inconvenience, it is a rapid-fire death sentence via dehydration. Unless you are drinking directly from a glacial melt at the very source, treat all water as if it is trying to kill you. Because nature isn't a spa, it's a biological war zone. Even if it looks cleaner than the water in your toilet, at least your toilet water is treated. Boil it or filter it, or prepare to die of embarrassment. Myth 2. The cactus water trap. This is a classic Western movie trope. The cowboy is stranded in the desert, sweating profusely. He cuts open a cactus, drinks the refreshing water inside, and rides off into the sunset. In reality, if you try this, you are going to die faster. The liquid inside most cacti is not water. It is a noxious soup of toxic alkaloids and acids. It tastes bitter, it burns, and most importantly, it is highly emetic. That is a fancy medical word meaning it will make you vomit violently. Vomiting wastes precious fluids that you cannot afford to lose. Instead of hydrating you, that cactus will wring you out like a wet towel. There is only one type of barrel cactus that is somewhat safe, and unless you have a PhD in botany, you aren't going to find it. So, stop stabbing plants. They are fighting for survival just like you, and they have chemical weapons. Myth 3. Eating snow to hydrate. You are lost in the mountains. You are thirsty. There is snow everywhere. It seems like free real estate, right? Wrong. Eating snow is a thermodynamic disaster. Snow is mostly trapped air and ice crystals. To convert that ice into liquid water that your body can actually use, your metabolism has to burn a massive amount of caloric energy to melt it inside your stomach. This process sucks the heat right out of your core. You are essentially turning your internal organs into a slushy machine. This drastically lowers your body temperature and accelerates hypothermia. You will die of cold long before you die of thirst. If you have snow, you must melt it first using body heat in a bottle or a fire. Do not eat it raw unless you want to freeze yourself from the inside out. It is the diet version of hydration. 0 calories, 0 benefits, and a lot of regret. Myth 4. Rationing water when thirsty. This is perhaps the most tragic myth on the list. Search and rescue teams frequently find dead bodies in the desert with canteens that are still half full. Why? Because people think they need to save water for later. They treat their water supply like a 401k retirement fund, hoping to use it down the road. But physiology doesn't work like a bank account. If you are dehydrated, your cognitive functions shut down. You get confused, you make bad decisions, and you pass out. Once you lose consciousness from heat stroke, that water in your bottle might as well be on the moon. If you are thirsty, drink. Your body is the best tank to store water, not your plastic bottle. Staying fully hydrated keeps your brain working, which gives you the best chance of finding more water. Don't die saving your drink for a tomorrow that will never come. Myth 5. Drinking urine. We have to blame Bear Grylls for this one. Everyone thinks that the moment they get thirsty, it's time to drink their own urine. Let's look at the science. Urine is your body's way of getting rid of toxic waste, excess salts, and urea. It is literally garbage. If you are dehydrated, your urine becomes a highly concentrated sludge of pollutants. Drinking it is like drinking seawater, but grosser. It forces your kidneys to process those toxins all over again, which puts massive strain on them and accelerates dehydration. It creates a feedback loop of kidney failure. Unless you are in a situation so extreme that you have literally zero options left and death is minutes away, keep your pants zipped. It's a waste disposal system, not a beverage dispenser. The forbidden lemonade is forbidden for a reason. Myth 6. If animals eat it, it's safe. You see a squirrel eating a mushroom. You think, well, if it doesn't kill the squirrel, it won't kill me. This logic is flawed because you are not a squirrel. Animals have entirely different metabolisms and digestive enzymes than humans. Birds can feast on berries like belladonna that would stop your heart in minutes. Squirrels can tolerate levels of strychnine and arsenic in certain seeds that would lay you out flat. Some animals even eat their own feces, but hopefully you draw the line there. Trusting a rodent to be your dietitian is a terrible strategy. Evolution gave us big brains so we wouldn't have to eat random forest trash. If you can't positively identify a plant with 100% certainty, do not put it in your mouth. Starvation takes weeks. Poisoning takes hours. Don't let a squirrel decide your fate. Myth 7. Prioritizing food over shelter. We are obsessed with food. Maybe it's because we get hangry if we miss lunch by 30 minutes. But in a survival situation, hunger is not your enemy. You have plenty of fat reserves. Even a skinny person has enough calories on their body to survive for 3 weeks without a single bite of food. You are built to starve. However, you are not built to freeze. You can die of hypothermia in 3 hours if you are wet and exposed to the wind. Yet, most lost hikers waste their precious daylight hours trying to build traps or hunt for berries, only to freeze to death when the sun goes down. Ignore your stomach. It is lying to you. Your priority is to build a shelter and get warm. You can worry about catching a rabbit next week. Right now, your love handles are your survival rations. Use them. Myth 8. Boiling fixes chemical contamination. We are taught that boiling water kills everything. And yes, boiling is great for killing bacteria, viruses, and parasites. It effectively murders anything living in the water. But it does absolutely nothing to remove chemicals, heavy metals, or pesticides. In fact, it makes the situation worse. Boiling is a process of evaporation. As the steam leaves the pot, the water volume decreases, but the chemicals stay behind. You are essentially concentrating the poison. If you take water from a stagnant puddle near an industrial area or a farm with runoff, boiling it just turns it into a warm, concentrated pesticide soup. If the water is chemically contaminated, you need a charcoal filter or a different water source. Don't serve yourself a hot cup of toxic waste and call it tea. Myth 9. Sucking the venom from a snakebite. This is pure Hollywood garbage. You get bit by a snake and your friend heroically tries to suck the poison out. In reality, snake venom travels through your lymphatic system and bloodstream incredibly fast. By the time you lean down to start sucking, the venom is already circulating. Furthermore, the human mouth is one of the dirtiest places on Earth, full of bacteria. By putting your mouth on an open wound, you are virtually guaranteeing a horrific infection. Also, if you have a cavity or a small cut in your gum, you are now poisoning yourself too. Now there are 2 victims instead of 1. The only cure for anti-venom is a hospital and a credit card. Don't try to be a vampire. You're just giving your friend a hickey on top of a necrosis wound. Myth 10. Playing dead for every bear. The advice, play dead, is not a universal pause button for bears. It depends entirely on the bear. This strategy was designed for grizzly bears, who attack primarily to neutralize a threat to their cubs or territory. If you play dead, they might think the threat is gone and leave. However, if you encounter a black bear or a polar bear, playing dead is just serving yourself on a silver platter. Black bears and polar bears are often predatory. If they attack, they are looking for lunch. If you lay down and play dead for a predatory bear, they will simply start eating you. With black bears, you need to fight back, make noise, and look big. With polar bears, well, honestly, you probably shouldn't be there. But don't just lie down and make it easy for them. Make them work for their meal. Myth 11. Running zigzag from a crocodile. Somewhere along the line, a rumor started that crocodiles and alligators can't turn quickly, so you should run in a zigzag pattern to escape them. This is absolute nonsense. Crocodiles are ambush predators. They don't run marathons. They launch themselves like biological missiles. On land, they can hit speeds of up to 11 miles per hour, 17 kilometers per hour, for short bursts. If you run in a zigzag, you are technically running a longer distance to get to the same destination. You are just slowing yourself down and giving the lizard more time to calculate the intercept trajectory. Furthermore, they are surprisingly agile and can scramble over obstacles. If a dinosaur is chasing you, run in a straight line. Run as fast as you can and climb something. Don't do interpretative dance moves while fleeing a predator. Myth 12. Punching a shark in the nose. Surfers and divers love to tell this one. If a shark attacks, just punch it in the snout. Have you ever tried to throw a punch underwater? The resistance of the water robs your strike of all its kinetic energy. Unless you are Mike Tyson, your punch is going to feel like a gentle caress to a 2-ton killing machine. The snout is hard cartilage. You will likely break your hand, and the shark will just get annoyed. If you are actually being attacked, you need to go for the sensitive spots, gouge the eyes or rip at the gills. The gills are extremely vascular and sensitive. Sticking your fingers in there is the shark equivalent of being choked. Fight dirty. The shark isn't following boxing rules, and neither should you. By the way, if you're still watching, type Jaws in the comments if you actually thought punching a shark would work. Be honest. Myth 13. Moss grows on the north side. This is the Boy Scout myth that has caused more people to walk in circles than a broken compass. The idea is that moss avoids the sun, so in the northern hemisphere, it grows on the shady north side of trees. In reality, moss doesn't care about cardinal directions. It cares about moisture and shade. If a forest is damp, moss will grow on all sides of a tree. If there is a stream to the south, the moss will grow on the south side. If the tree is leaning, moss grows on the underside. Relying on this myth is a great way to navigate yourself deeper into the wilderness until you become a missing person poster. Use a compass, use the sun, or follow a river. Do not take navigation advice from fungus. Myth 14. Birds always fly towards water. You look up, see a flock of birds and think, aha, they are heading to a lake. Not necessarily. Birds fly for many reasons. They might be migrating, they might be heading to a roosting site for the night, or they might be fleeing a predator. Some seabirds can fly hundreds of miles away from the shore. Following a random crow is just going to lead you to a cornfield or a roadkill carcass. The only time birds are reliable indicators of water is if you see low-flying grain eaters like pigeons or doves at dawn or dusk, as they usually drink twice a day. But generally, relying on bird GPS is a gamble with your life. You are better off looking for gravity. Water flows downhill. Follow the valleys, not the sky. Myth 15. Alcohol warms you up. The St. Bernard dog with a barrel of brandy around its neck is a cute image, but it is scientifically deadly. Alcohol is a vasodilator. This means it causes your blood vessels to relax and widen. When you take a shot of whiskey, warm blood rushes from your internal organs to your skin. That is why your cheeks turn red and you feel warm. But this is a trick. You are actually venting your precious core heat directly into the freezing air. It is like opening all the windows in your house in the middle of winter. The house feels airy for a second, and then the furnace breaks. Alcohol accelerates hypothermia. You will die freezing to death while feeling comfortably warm. If you are cold, drink warm water or eat fat. Save the booze for the victory party after you survive. Myth 16. Rubbing frostbite with snow. This is an old wives' tale that borders on torture. When tissue gets frostbitten, sharp ice crystals form inside your cells. Your skin is literally frozen solid. If you take a handful of snow and start vigorously rubbing that area, you are grinding those sharp crystals into your cellular walls. You are essentially shredding your meat from the inside out. It causes massive tissue damage and guarantees that the area will become necrotic and turn black. Frostbite needs to be warmed up slowly and gently with warm, not hot, water or body heat. Rubbing it with abrasive snow is just helping the cold finish the job of destroying your fingers. Myth 17. Starting fire with friction is easy. Movies make this look effortless. The hero spins a stick between his hands for 10 seconds and poof, a roaring bonfire appears. In reality, the hand drill or bow drill method is incredibly difficult. It requires specific types of dry wood, perfect technique, and a massive amount of physical exertion. If you are already dehydrated, starving, and freezing, spending 2 hours sweating over a smoking stick is a death trap. You will burn more calories trying to start the fire than the fire will save. Unless you have practiced this for years, you will likely end up exhausted with bloody hands sitting in the dark. Carry a lighter. Carry 2 lighters. Relying on friction is a fantasy for people who have never actually tried it. Myth 18. The bigger the shelter, the better. Claustrophobia is bad, but freezing is worse. Novices often build large, roomy shelters, a nice lean-to where they can sit up and stretch out. This is a fatal mistake in cold weather. Your body is the only radiator you have. You need to heat the air trapped inside your shelter. If you build a cathedral, your body heat will rise to the roof and dissipate, leaving you shivering on the ground. A survival shelter should be a debris coffin, small, tight, and insulated. It should be barely big enough to crawl into. You want to minimize the volume of air you have to heat. It's not about luxury, it's about thermodynamics. Be a rat in a hole, not a king in a castle. Myth 19. The space blanket myth. Those shiny mylar emergency blankets look cool, like something from NASA. But people misunderstand how they work. They reflect radiant heat, yes, but they have zero insulation value. If you wrap yourself in one and lie down on the snow or cold ground, you will freeze to death just as fast as if you were naked. The ground kills you via conduction, sucking heat directly out of your body on contact. A piece of foil cannot stop conduction. You must have an insulating layer between you and the ground, pine boughs, dry leaves, or a foam pad. The space blanket goes around you, but the insulation must go under you. Without a mattress of debris, that shiny blanket is just a festive wrapper for your frozen corpse. Myth 20. I can swim across that river. Hypothermia isn't the only danger in cold water. The real killer is cold shock response. The moment you jump into frigid water, your body involuntarily gasps. If your head is underwater when that happens, you inhale a liter of water and drown instantly. Even if you surface, the shock causes hyperventilation and muscle spasms. You lose the ability to coordinate your limbs within minutes, long before true hypothermia sets in. Even Olympic swimmers drown in cold lakes because their muscles simply stop obeying commands. If you can't see the bottom or you don't know the temperature, stay dry. Trying to swim to safety is often the last decision you will ever make. Myth 21. Tourniquets cause amputation. For decades, people were taught, never use a tourniquet unless you are willing to lose the limb. This is outdated, dangerous advice from the Civil War era. Modern combat medicine has proven that a properly applied tourniquet can stay on for up to 2 hours with almost zero risk of permanent nerve damage or amputation. Meanwhile, a severed femoral artery will bleed you out in 3 minutes. Do the math. You don't have time to debate limb viability when blood is spraying onto the trees. If there is bright red arterial bleeding that direct pressure can't stop, crank that tourniquet tight until the screaming stops. It hurts like hell, but it's better than being a corpse with 2 healthy legs. Save the life first. Worry about the leg later. Myth 22. Cauterizing a wound with gunpowder. Thanks to Rambo, everyone thinks the best way to treat a deep cut is to pour gunpowder on it and light a match. This is, medically speaking, insanity. Cauterization seals the wound, yes, but it seals all the bacteria and dirt inside the wound, creating a perfect incubator for gangrene and sepsis. Furthermore, you are inflicting a third-degree burn on top of a laceration. Your body goes into shock from the pain, which drops your blood pressure and accelerates hypothermia. You are literally cooking your own flesh. Unless you are in a medieval dungeon, wash the wound, pack it with gauze, and apply pressure. Don't set yourself on fire to fix a cut. Myth 23. The giant Rambo knife. Novice survivalists love buying massive, serrated, tactical knives that look like they could decapitate a dinosaur. These are useless. A survival knife is a tool, not a weapon. You need it to carve intricate traps, clean small fish, and whittle kindling. Try filleting a trout with a machete. It's like trying to perform eye surgery with a shovel. A giant knife is heavy, unwieldy, and tiring to use. The pros carry a small, fixed-blade knife, like a mora, and a folding saw. The saw does the heavy cutting, and the knife does the fine work. Leave the sword at home. The bears aren't impressed by your cosplay. Myth 24. My phone GPS will save me. Reliance on smartphones is the leading cause of modern search and rescue missions. We trust that little blue dot implicitly. But in the wilderness, 3 things happen. 1. There is no cell towers, so the map doesn't load. 2. The GPS chip drains the battery in a few hours. 3. The cold weather shuts the phone down instantly. A smartphone is a delicate piece of glass and lithium designed for coffee shops, not the tundra. If you step into the woods without a physical map and a compass, and the knowledge of how to use them, you are just a tourist waiting to get lost. Batteries die. Magnetic north does not. Myth 25. Buying a pre-made survival kit. You've seen them on Amazon. The ultimate survival grenade, or a tiny tin box packed with 50 items for $19.99. These kits are scams. The compass is usually a toy that points east, the knife bends if you look at it wrong, and the matches aren't waterproof. When your life is on the line, you do not want to rely on the lowest bidder in a Chinese factory. A real survival kit is something you build yourself, piece by piece, testing every item. If you haven't opened it and used it before the emergency, it's not a survival kit. It's a coffin accessory. Trusting your life to a $20 novelty item is a bad investment strategy. Myth 26. The 24-hour missing persons rule. TV cop shows have convinced the world that you have to wait 24 or 48 hours before reporting a missing person. This is a bureaucratic myth that kills people. In a wilderness scenario, the golden hour is critical. If someone doesn't return from a hike when scheduled, call search and rescue immediately. A person who is injured can die of exposure in a single night. A person who is moving can walk 10 miles in the wrong direction overnight, expanding the search radius by hundreds of square miles. Search teams would rather receive a false alarm where the hiker walks out fine than receive a call 2 days later to recover a frozen body. Do not wait. Make the call. Myth 27. Lightning never strikes twice. This is a proverb about luck, not a fact about physics. Lightning absolutely strikes the same place twice. In fact, it loves to. Lightning seeks the path of least resistance to the ground. If a tree or a rock formation is the highest point and is conductive, it will get hit repeatedly during a storm. The Empire State Building gets hit about 25 to 100 times a year. If you are on a mountain ridge and lightning strikes near you, do not think, "Safe, it won't hit here again." It found a path once, it will likely use it again. Get off the ridge, get low, and get away from tall, isolated objects immediately. Myth 28. I can outrun a forest fire. Fire is terrifyingly fast. On flat ground, a wildfire can move faster than you can jog. But if the fire is moving uphill, It travels faster than an Olympic sprinter. The heat dries out the vegetation ahead of the flames, preheating the fuel. It creates its own wind and weather systems. People die because they stand and watch, thinking the fire is far away, not realizing that wind can carry embers a mile ahead of the main front, starting new fires behind them. If you see smoke, you leave. You don't pack your bag, you don't take a selfie, you evacuate. You cannot outrun physics. Myth 29. Follow the river downstream. The logic seems sound. Water flows to bigger water, which flows to towns. This can work, but it is not a golden rule. In mountainous terrain, rivers often flow into steep canyons, impassable gorges, or massive waterfalls. Following the riverbank might lead you into a trap where you can neither advance nor retreat, stuck on a slippery ledge with hypothermia setting in. Furthermore, rescue teams search from the last known point, usually your car or campsite. If you walk 20 miles down a river, you are walking out of the search zone. Unless you know for a fact where the river goes, staying put in an open area is often the safer bet. Myth 30. Instincts will save me. This is the biggest ego trap of all. We assume that when disaster strikes, our survival instincts will kick in, and we will become Jason Bourne. The ancient Greek poet Archilochus said it best. We do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. In a high-stress survival situation, your fine motor skills vanish. Your IQ drops by 20 points due to cortisol. You get tunnel vision. If you haven't practiced starting a fire in the rain, you won't figure it out when your hands are numb. If you haven't practiced using your map, you won't learn it while panicked. Instincts are just panic in disguise. Training is the only thing that stays. Conclusion. Survival isn't about fighting nature. Nature will always win that fight. Survival is about fighting your own ignorance. The myths we debunked today, from drinking cactus juice to trusting a cheap survival kit, are dangerous because they give you a false sense of security. They make you think you have a cheat code for reality. You don't. The wilderness respects only one thing: physics. So, throw away the Hollywood scripts and go learn some real skills. Because the most dangerous thing in the woods isn't the bear, it's the confident idiot who thinks he knows what he's doing. Don't be that guy. Now, if you made it this far, you are officially smarter than 90% of the people who clicked off early. Prove it. Comment the phrase, "I survived," with a fire emoji down below. Let's confuse everyone who didn't watch to the end. Stay safe, stay smart, and thanks for watching.